All right, here we go. We are live right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, faithful, I appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. It's actually been 2 weeks since we were live because last week no live show because I was on Super Bowl Radio Row, but some of the content that we were able to gather right here on the Niners Report, absolutely awesome, and the content that we have on the docket today going to be fabulous as well. So appreciate all of you for tuning in, and appreciate John Wallace for sending in this $5 super chat before we even went live. Our super chat menu is also pretty cool today. I said B, and by the way, he's referencing the live poll question, grade the Niners season A, B, C, D, or F. So John Wallace said B because we didn't finish the job. Brock did really well until the injury. I have high hopes for next year. So do I. And San Francisco, top 5 in Super Bowl odds, regardless of what sports book that you look at. So the odds makers very confident in San Francisco that they're going to be in the mix once again. Now, the Super Bowl did take place on Sunday between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a fabulous game. For 58 minutes, it was phenomenal. I hated how the officiating crew kind of decided how the game ended to a certain degree. So how would you grade the quality of the Super Bowl? Be a football fan here. Don't be biased. 1 to 100, 1 awful game, 100 very good game. Let us know in the comment section. We'll give you some shout-outs here. John Wallace, Mike Concho had a funny comment earlier. It's the offseason, he said, which means pure speculation like Shrek replacing Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. That's good stuff right there, Mike. Rick Nyers, what's up, Chase the Niner Nation? What's up, Rick? How you doing? Gonna send you that helmet here over the next couple of days. Larry Fort, what's up, Chase? What's up, Larry? All right, here are the votes starting to come in. Cash Money, 95. Chualure, 69. Nice. Ernesto, 95. Knight, 95. 79.5 from Katie Boy. Wet Noodle, 69. Nice. Larry Fort, 50. Dave D, 90. Steve Cass, 25. I thought the game was really good. It was really intriguing. Back and forth, 2 really good teams. Of course, if San Francisco is healthy, maybe they would have been in that game. But even if they were healthy, would they have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs? Really good team that the 49ers got blown out by earlier on this year. John Wallace, 89. Mike Concho, 50. Jonathan Lloyd, 96. Brendan Mueller, 90. Ali Mayo, 99. I'd say 95 had an opportunity to be 99 or 100 if that flag wasn't thrown late on what I thought was a 50-50 call that shouldn't have been called in that situation. Patriot Fighter, yes, we would. Patriot Fighter, still haven't gotten your email address. I tried to reach out to you. So if you did see that comment, please let me know. If you want to email me, chase@chatsports.com. You can send me your mailing address, or if you hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram @Chase_senior, I can get in touch with you there. Want to get you that Niners pillow. For those of you who are waiting on a Super Chat menu item, we just started sending out a couple of those items yesterday. I was in the Super Bowl coverage all week last week, so obviously a little bit of a delay following the season. Next question here. What are you looking forward to the most here in the offseason? D for draft, F for free agency. That's the next question on the docket. So Patriot Fighter said, I've sent it a couple of times. Patriot Fighter, I went back to look at your comment. I didn't see it. I didn't see your mailing address there. That's all I need. So if you want to email me, chase@chatsports.com, you can email me there or hit me up on social media. Either way, I'm pretty confident that we're going to find a way to get you that pillow. I've been trying to get it to you for a little while. I just haven't seen that mailing address. So draft or free agency. What are you looking forward to the most here in the offseason? Katie Boy, free agency. George Garcia, free agency. Dave D, free agency. Damon Harper, free agency period. Larry Fort, draft. What's interesting about the Niners, no picks until the 3rd round. Wet Noodle, P for Purdy's health. That's what we need. Morrow, free agency. Both from Owl Dog. That's what I like to hear because we cover both right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. If you want to join the show, you can. A couple of ways for you to get involved. We'll be answering your questions throughout the program as well. Pretty simple. Just use the hashtag 49ers or be like John Wallace, Super Chat, to get those questions answered as well. And here is our Super Chat menu. $5 Greedo cheers. Words of wisdom, where are you? $10, we're going to spin the wheel. If you send us a $20 super chat, we're going to send you a digital Valentine's Day card that you'll be able to screenshot here on the show. $50, a Greedo shotgun or a Freedom Funnel. Now, those of you who have been tuned into the program for a long time, you know our guy, our fearless leader, Words of Wisdom. He always asks us to do the Mexican grito, which is the Well, girlfriend Kira pulled off something awesome. She sent Trace and I a pack of this El Grito beer. Get it? Mexican Grito beer. She sent Trace and I this for Valentine's Day. She's my Valentine. She's not Trace's Valentine, so don't get it twisted there. But she wanted us to have fun on the show. So we're down to have fun on the show if you look at our super chat menu. And if you send us that $20 super chat, here is our Valentine's Day card for you. It's me and Trizzy. Have a laugh. Have some fun. We understand it's hilarious. It's corny. And some of you might have questions. But we're just having fun here on the program today. So that is our super chat menu. Mike Concho said, Kira the Legend. Exactly. Kira the Legend. I'll take a picture of that, Mike, and I'll send it to her. Jeffrey Adams, what's up, Chase? What up, Jeff? I just sent that to her, Mike, that you called her a legend. Dave D said, LOL. Harold Murillo, hello, everyone. And here's the deal. We are closing in on 80,000 subscribers. If we get $200 in super chats today, the bosses have allowed me to get a Jerry Rice jersey so that when we get to 80,000 subscribers, we will celebrate with me rocking a Jerry Rice jersey. So if we get $200 in super chats today, I'm going to put an order in. We're going to get a Jerry Rice jersey. Then I'll wear it on the show. But also, what should we do when we get to 80,000 subscribers? I was thinking we could fill up 80 small cups of beer, and Trace and I will drink all 80 of those. If you have some suggestions, please let us know down in the comment section. Chualure already using hashtag 49ers like a real one. So here's that updated super chat menu. $200 in total. I'm getting a Jerry Rice jersey for 80,000 subscribers. We'll wear it on the show, and maybe we'll take down 80 beers in 80 minutes. Unless you have a better suggestion out there. Harold Murillo, those live interviews elevated the channel. #1 worldwide chat sports. Appreciate that, Harold. Yeah, our Super Bowl coverage was great. Had an opportunity to speak with players, celebrities, media members. Love sitting down with Matt Mayoko for a few minutes. We talked to Pro Football Doc, Jake Glazer. We had Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers Report as well. I really tried to get Deebo Samuel, Trey Lance, and George Kittle, but they were way too busy. Next year on Super Bowl Radio Row, hopefully we're able to get them, and hopefully, they could be playing in the actual Super Bowl. All right, if you're ready to start the show, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Phil said that had to be awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Steve Cass, Jerry Rice, who? The GOAT. Who? He is the GOAT among all wide receivers. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Giveaway in a raffle for a Jerry Rice jersey. That could be interesting as well. We could buy the Jerry Rice jersey and maybe give it away. No promises there. But let us know what we should do for 80,000 subscribers. And if we get the $200 in total super chats on today's show, we're going to get that Jerry Rice jersey, and then we'll celebrate 80,000 subs as the largest independently run Niners channel on YouTube. All right, we're about to dive into some 49ers news and rumors. Katie Boy with the $5 super chat, so we can pop that up. Also, we owe John Wallace for the $5 super chat as well. So let's see what Katie Boy had to say here. Once it registers in the system, we'll be able to bring it up. Katie Boy, good work, brother. Keep it going. Now, I personally think they should trade Brock Purdy and next year's first and the following year's second and fifth for Aaron Rodgers. So they give up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. So I don't think they have a first-round pick next year. I have to check on that to make sure it's not a following draft. But look, you trade Brock Purdy and draft capital for Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to find some way to clear up some cap space to bring on that contract. Take a look at the super chat menu once again, because we had 2 of those $5 super chats that did come in. Greedo cheers. So there we go. Going to give you a Greedo cheers. I can actually crack this Greedo here. Words of Wisdom. Girlfriend Kira bought us some Greedo beer. You can't see it because it's a green case on the green screen here. But cracking a Greedo beer. Sweet candy. You can't really see it. It has a chicken on it, though. Very cool. Just blends in with our green screen. So there you go. Beer cheers there for Katie Boy as well as John Wallace. That is our Super Chat menu if you're just joining the show. $200 in total Super Chats. I'm going to get a Jerry Rice jersey to celebrate once we get to 80,000 subscribers. We're 1,500 people away. Got to run that little intro screen right there, Triz. And with that, we'll dive into the show, but if you're ready to get started, make sure you smash that thumbs up icon and like the video. 154 people watching live, 40 likes. By the time we're done this segment, can we get to 100 likes? Tell everybody. Let's get into it right now. All right, let's get it. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report right here on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for tuning into today's program, and it's all presented by Vincero Collective. I love their watches. See what I'm talking about by heading to VinceroCollective.com/chat. Site-wide, you can get 20% off of your order. I'm wearing this one right here. Their timepieces are absolutely awesome, just in time for the NFL offseason. So I do want to begin with this, and 49ers free agency rumors really going to start to ratchet up here over the next couple of weeks as free agency is set to begin in about a month. And the biggest free agent target that I'm interested in is Daron Payne, defensive tackle for the Washington Commanders. I believe that he's the perfect player for this scheme under new defensive coordinator Steve Wilks to really complement what this defense does well and also help out Nick Bosa. So we'll take a look at his player profile. We also have some important Niners coaching news to get to. But first, I want your feedback once more in the comment section. We're 1,500 people away from 80,000 subscribers. And if we get there, I want to be rocking a Jerry Rice jersey. But what should we do to celebrate 80,000 subscribers as the largest independently run Niners YouTube channel out there? I was thinking 80 beers and a number 80 jersey. That's what we might do if you don't come up with a better suggestion. So let us know and have some fun with it down below in the comment section. We always love hearing from the faithful. And here you see the tallies of where we stand right now. How quickly can we get to the goated number 80? 1,500 people away from another great milestone. Appreciate all of your support. And, of course, if you want the best Niners coverage on YouTube, we bring you free shows every day, year-round, with no breaks. Going back to Daron Payne, some background on the player who I really like, and man, he's really put together an impressive NFL career to start since being a first-round pick, 13th overall in the 2018 NFL Draft out of Alabama. That's where he played his college football and won the 2017 College Football Playoff National Championship. Really good size at 6'2", 320. And even though he's a defensive tackle, and sometimes defensive tackles don't always put up massive sack numbers, he has 26 sacks in 5 years, and this past season was the best of his young career. You look at the numbers here this past season for Daron Payne, 11.5 sacks for Ron Rivera, who's a defensive-minded head coach. He had 20 quarterback hits, 18 tackles for loss to go along with 5 pass breakups. He's really good at getting after the opposing quarterback, also good against the ground game, and this is a guy who can be a game wrecker in the biggest of games, and why I do think that he is of the utmost importance, or at least up there for San Francisco on the wish list this offseason. Well, you saw the top 2 teams in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, very good on the interior of that defensive line and against the Cowboys in the divisional round. Against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, the 49ers' interior defensive line did get pushed around. And it was a career year for Payne, as I said. He set career highs in tackles, a career high in sacks, career high in tackles for loss, and he was 3rd in the entire National Football League in tackles behind the line of scrimmage. And I think that the 49ers simply need to get better at sacking the opposing quarterback and getting consistent pressure. They were good at generating pressure on the opposition throughout the 2022 campaign, but they fell a little bit flat in the NFL playoffs. And that's why I think they just need another dog on that defensive line. Not only Does it help out Nick Bosa? This is a great compliment to Eric Armstead. And if you bring in Payne and maybe another edge rusher, this 49ers defense can simply be scary here in the 2023 season. Now, as I mentioned off the top of the show, the 49ers Report is presented by Vincero Collective. 20% off and free shipping by using the promo code CHAT at vincerocollective.com/chat. Love their timepieces. And if you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they are essentially a design house for modern men and women crafting really sleek watches, sunglasses, and more. I have several watches from them, including the one that I'm wearing today. They are among the favorites that I own of all things that I do own when it comes to my wardrobe. I get tons of compliments on it, and it's clear from the first impression how well made they are. Based on the West Coast, GQ actually recently called Vincero their go-to brand for modern accessories, and it's easy to see why. For all the boss men and women out there, their watches are a must. They can elevate your look with the twist of a wrist, made with surgical-grade stainless steel, durable silicone, and Italian marble straps. These sleek modern watches come with reliable automatic and Japanese quartz movements. Vincero's goal: simply to help the everyday person accessorize their outfits with premium products at a price that makes sense. You can look like a baller without having to spend like one. So one more time, it's vincerocollective.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. Check them out, VINCERO collective.com, and use that promo code CHAT. Now going back to Daron Payne, 11.5 sacks from that defensive tackle spot. A lot more than what the Niners defense had to show for this year. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. After that, though, the 49ers did struggle with their sack production. Pretty large gap, going from 18.5 to 5. You bring in a guy like Daron Payne, and that gap, it minimizes a little bit. Charles Omenihu with 4.5 sacks. Drake Jackson with 3, and he was inactive for a couple of games. And Kevin Givens with 2. Fred Warner with 2. A little bit of a problem. And yes, the 49ers were top 10 in sacks this year in the 2022 regular season. They had 44 of them. But they were 26 sacks behind the league-leading Philadelphia Eagles. They have to get better in that category, because you look at the top 2 teams on this list, they were the top 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl, Eagles and the Chiefs. And in today's pass-happy NFL era, you have to be able to generate that pass rush so opposing quarterbacks don't have time to slice you up. Now, how much will Daron Payne cost? Here's kind of a glimpse into what the price tag might be. He is not going to get Aaron Donald money, highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL as of now, but Nick Bosa might overtake him at $31.5 million. Former Niner DeForest Buckner, 21 even. Chris Jones with 20. He could get paid even more after he just won another Super Bowl. Jonathan Allen is his teammate for Daron Payne. And a big reason why Payne might go elsewhere is because Washington already paid him $18 million. If you're looking at Daron Payne, I think that with the increasing salary cap, you're between $15, $18 million. And yes, the 49ers, $8 to $10 million in available cap space right now. They can restructure some contracts to open up about $50 million. I failed elementary algebra at Temple University, so I'm not really a mathematician, but I do know that that is a fact. So you tell me, do you want the Niners to sign Daron Payne? Join the conversation down below in the comment section. S for sign, P for pass. As for who is going to be the next Niners offensive coordinator, according to Albert Breer, there's a name that he's keeping an eye on, and we're talking about this open position because passing game coordinator Bobby Slowik followed DeMeco Ryans to Houston. And by the way, DeMeco Ryans, as I predicted, putting together a pretty good staff. Also of note, Bobby Slowik able to beat out Cliff Kingsbury for that offensive coordinator position. Here's what Albert Breer had to say on the latest Niners coaching news and buzz. The Texans did well to land Bobby Slowik from the Niners, the guy that was at the top of DeMeco Ryans' offensive coordinator list. The next one in Kyle Shanahan's young OC assembly line figures to be tight ends coach Brian Fleury. He has been in San Francisco for 4 years, actually first worked with Shanahan as a Browns defensive assistant when Shanahan was the OC there in 2014. Now, obviously, anytime you lose a defensive coordinator, anytime you lose like a Mike McDaniel like the Niners did last year, it is a massive void to fill. But if you're going to put your trust in anybody to replace some of the coaches on his staff, I'm going to put that trust in Kyle Shanahan because he's picked the right ones. Robert Saleh, head coach. Mike McDaniel, head coach. DeMeco Ryans a head coach. Brian Greasy was brought in out of the broadcast booth. He did a great job with Jimmy Garoppolo as well as Brock Purdy. And remember, the 49ers offensive coordinator, it's not all that important of a position because Kyle Shanahan is basically the head coach as well as the offensive coordinator because he is the play caller. Let's round out today's show with this. Could the 49ers re-sign right tackle Mike McGlinchey? This is a guy who we've talked about a lot. I spoke about this with Matt Mayoko about Mike McGlinchey, from Super Bowl Radio Row. Both him and I are in agreement that Mike McGlinchey could get between $15, $18 million on the free agency market. And Pro Football Focus put together a list of every free agent that each team should prioritize. And they have the Niners prioritizing Mike McGlinchey, which is certainly interesting. And they put a lot more value in McGlinchey than some fans do. And let me tell you this right now. Mike McGlinchey is going to be a top 2 right tackle on the free agency market. There's going to be a team that overpays for him, kind of like what the Jets did last offseason with Laken Tomlinson. Here's what Pro Football Focus had to say about the former top 10 pick. McGlinchey has caught some ire from Niners fans, which is perhaps unavoidable when playing opposite of a Hall of Fame talent in Trent Williams. But he's recovered well from a torn ACL, continued to improve as a pass protector to go along with his always top-notch run-blocking prowess. McGlinchey has earned run-blocking grades above 60 in every season of his career, pass-blocking grades above 60 in 4 out of 5 seasons. The humongous 6'8", 310-pound tackle is a reliable, high-floor player who may not quite break the bank despite his draft status. However, with all of the expensive contracts starting to pile up on San Francisco's books, it shouldn't be out of the question that they consider going cheaper at right tackle in 2023. Still, it won't be as easy as some may think to replace McGlinchey. I think the Pro Football Focus was wrong there in talking about that McGlinchey injury. He tore his quad 2 seasons ago in 2021. As for how he fared coming off that injury in 2022, more than 1,000 snaps played, 561 pass blocking snaps, 10 penalties, which I know frustrated a lot of fans out there. 6 sacks allowed, not ideal, but in the back half of the season, he was actually pretty solid. 3 hits allowed and 27 total pressures. But this is why McGlinchey is probably going to get paid, because there are teams who are starving for offensive line help, especially at that right tackle spot, because they want to keep their quarterbacks upright and healthy. And the going rate for quality right tackles is pretty high. Ryan Ramczyk, New Orleans Saints, more than $19 million. Brian O'Neill, Minnesota Vikings, $18.5. Lane Johnson is the best right tackle in the game. He's making 18. Braden Smith, 17.5. Taylor Moton, 17 even. With the salary cap going up and with the value set to increase at that position, that's why McGlinchey could get the bag. Faithful, let's hear from you once more. What would you do with Mike McGlinchey? K for keep, L for leave. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to type that L. Either way, appreciate all of you for watching. All right, let's do some shout-outs here. What do you think is going to happen with McGlinchey? Mike Concho said leave. Harold Murillo, leave. John Wallace with a lot of L's. Mr. Block Ice, L. Chewalure, L. Mr. Block Ice, I appreciate the comment yesterday. Yes, we do like to have fun on the show, but thank you for your honesty and your feedback. Mario Nunez, L. Katie Boy said keep. Steve Cass said L. Harold, Paul, I'll type in that L. So I do appreciate that feedback. Harold Murillo, L for sure. So that seems to be the consensus among the faithful. Just don't be shocked when he gets a lot of money this offseason. All right, if you want to join the show, we've already answered some of your questions. We've already answered some of your super chats. Join the show. Hashtag 49ers or Super Chat to get your questions answered. We also have an awesome Super Chat menu cooked up for you all today. And producer Triz is going to pop it up. $5, it's the Greedo Cheers. $10, we'll spin the wheel. $20, we'll send you a Valentine's Day card from me and Trizzy. $50, it's a Greedo shotgun or a funnel. And this is a lager. So shotgunning a lager is a little bit harder. And if we get to $200 in total Super Chats, The bosses told me I can buy a Jerry Rice jersey, and once we get to 80,000 subscribers, as we're 1,500 away, we can rock that to celebrate getting to that milestone. Here is that Valentine's Day card that we can send you. Me and Trace, heart hands. We'll send that to you. It's supposed to be funny. Don't take it too seriously. We threw it in the Slack room earlier, and Abby's reaction was, oh. So use the hashtag 49ers or a Super Chat to get on the program. Hacho! $10 Super Chat. So we're going to spin that wheel. John Wallace with the 2. You think there's some late-round offensive lineman from John? There always is. I mean, Spencer Burford was a mid-round pick out of UTSA. That's not a football power by any means. A lot of the mock drafts that I've looked at do have the Niners going offensive line somewhere middle to later part of the NFL draft. So Honcho with the 10, we'll spin the wheel for him. And then John Wallace with the 2 answered that question. I'll give you a little Grito cheers. Words of wisdom, where are you at? Dre Diddy, look lit on that cam and on that card. Yeah, we're always litty. All right, so we're going to spin the wheel here. A lot of stuff on here. Excited to see where we land. Oh! It's a chug race. Now, you put Abby on there without her consent. It's the Trace and Abby chug race. David Corona, what's up, Chase? How you been? What up, playa? John Wallace said 8 more for the wheel. So spin that wheel again. John Wallace sent in an 8 on top of the 2. So at the very least, Trace can chug. And here's another wheel spin for John Wallace. Lands on Debo, who I saw on Super Bowl Radio Row, making his rounds with the media. Debo. Whoa. Debo. Whoa. So pop yourself on cam and chug that beer. I'll give you one right here. Or do you have something else that you want to chug? Here's a little Grito beer for Trez.
What's up? What's up, fam?
Mike Concho, I see you in the chat. Debo.
Whoa. All right, I'm going to show John Wallace's $8.
Hey! There he is! John. Finally connected with John via email. We're going to send him his Super Chat MVP giveaways from the NFC Championship game. Really appreciate John for supporting the show. John, I don't know if you saw the email. I was at the Super Bowl all last week, so we'll get those items sent to you. Just happy that we have your email there. And happy Valentine's Day, John. Make that the L3 with the picture. So John gets the Valentine's Day card. John, you can take a screenshot of this and save it for your photo album. We'll tell you what we're talking about coming up. So we're at $50 right now. If we get to $200 in total, the bosses told me that they're going to buy us a Jerry Rice jersey to celebrate 80,000 subscribers once we get there, and we're 1,500 subscribers away. So make sure you tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. So John gets the Valentine's Day card with the custom graphic. Happy Valentine's Day, John Aiello. Here you go. Take a screenshot of that and save it. That's our present to you on this Valentine's Day. John, we appreciate you. Steve Cass, did your boss tell you which Jerry Rice jersey? I saw the vintage throwback with the black outline on the 80. That's available. And then there's just a classic number 81 available as well. Got to go scarlet red, though, I think, right? Can't go white. Got to go with the scarlet red. So there you go, Steve Cass. Ricky Pacheco, any relation to Isaiah? He said bring in Julio Jones on the cheap. Ask that question and use hashtag 49ers. We can get it featured in our mailbag. So here's our Super Chat menu once more. John Aiello with the 20. So we sent him the Valentine's Day card. We had 2 10s. That's why we're spinning the wheel twice. Greedo cheers for the 5. Greedo shotgun or funnel for 50. And $200 in total. We're $150 away. We're getting a Jerry Rice jersey here on the show. As for what we're getting into next, a lot of growing buzz that after the Raiders released Derek Carr, that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go to the desert, the Sin City, and Las Vegas. That's what we're getting into right now. Mike Concha said, is this a poster for a horror movie for our Valentine's Day card?
No, it's the poster to your favorite movie of all time.
There you go.
One that you only turn on after midnight.
It's a poster for your poster in your room because you should blow it up and plaster it on your walls.
You ever seen Fatheads? Remember those?
Yes.
We just need to smack one of those
That's
on the walls
it.
of us.
Chew Allure. Chase, I got a Brock Purdy jersey, scarlet red. That's fresh. Charlie Hustle said, gotta be kidding me. Hey, we never fail to entertain and have fun here on the show. That's what you can say about us.
This is the same group of people that we're having fun talking about shoe size and height on the stream. So nothing is above us on this.
Exactly right. All right. Jimmy G to the Raiders. Could it happen this offseason? Let's dive into those rumors as Jimmy G looks to be heading elsewhere outside of San Francisco. Could Jimmy G head to the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason in free agency following the Raiders releasing the best quarterback in that franchise's history in Derek Carr this week? That's what we're diving into on today's 49ers Report. I'm your host, Chase Sr. So there's a lot of growing buzz that Jimmy Garoppolo could team back up with Josh McDaniels, who was his offensive coordinator when Jimmy Garoppolo was playing with the New England Patriots, to be the team's next starting quarterback. And there's growing buzz here from all types of areas if the Raiders are not able to land Aaron Rodgers via trade. This coming from an NFL executive to The Athletic recently. Vegas would be fine for Rodgers. It just seems like a weird fit. Rodgers' personality and Josh McDaniels, I think Josh would probably rather develop his own guy than have Rodgers, and I think he'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo over Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. As Garoppolo set to hit the free agency market, I do think that he's going to have suitors because there are several teams across the NFL who are looking for a quarterback, but I did ask Raiders legend Howie Long from Super Bowl Radio Row what he thought about the Raiders' interest in Aaron Rodgers, and he said, you know what, from a scheme fit, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because McDaniels likes to do things his way. Rodgers has been in a different system pretty much his entire career. Would they be able to mesh and have a marriage that leads to success in Las Vegas? So this is very interesting for a couple of reasons. It also makes sense for a couple of reasons. Why Sin City Jimmy could actually come to fruition. He has that familiarity with Josh McDaniels, as well as the general manager there, who has New England Patriots ties. The Raiders have a win-now roster with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Mason Crosby, and a whole host of other players who actually played well last year. The Raiders just set the record for losing the most amount of leads in a single season. The roster makes sense from a construction standpoint because Jimmy G does need some supporting weapons, and the Raiders do have that, especially if they bring back Josh Jacobs, who is also going to be a free agent. The Raiders, as I just alluded to, blew 5 10-point leads this year. So just as easily as they were not in the playoffs, they could have been in the playoffs, and I actually think they had a pretty good squad, and Garoppolo has what the Raiders have been missing. He is a proven winner who has won more than 70% of his starts throughout his NFL career. Now, if Jimmy G were to go to the Raiders, considering the background that these two organizations have, as the Niners remained faithful to the Bay, the Raiders were not because they dipped for the money in Las Vegas, what would your reaction be if you saw Garoppolo in the black and silver? Let us know down below in the comment section. And, of course, as you venture down there, make sure you subscribe to us here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We're 1,500 people or so away from 80,000 subscribers, and we have you covered with all of the latest happenings during 49ers free agency as well as the NFL draft. So lock us in. We will not disappoint you. As for what Garoppolo has done the last 4 years and why the Niners are moving on, and also, to that same point, why the Raiders might be interested. In 2022, he was playing pretty good football before he hurt his foot. He completed 67+% of his passes for 2,400 yards, 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions in limited time. In 2021, thought he had a pretty good campaign en route to the Niners, making it to another NFC Championship game. Completed 68% of his passes for 3,800 yards, more games, obviously, than in 2022. 20 touchdowns to 12 picks. In 2020, his season got cut short, which is, of course, a massive, massive question mark for him. It's his availability and his durability. And in 2019, he completed 69% of his passes during that Super Bowl year, just shy of 4,000 yards, and a career-high 27 touchdowns to 13 picks. But why the Niners are moving on from him, in my opinion, he's missed far too many games. And he's played good football for San Francisco. But when you have him on your offense, you kind of put a ceiling over what you can do. In 2018, 3 starts, 13 missed games after he tore his ACL on that run to the left side, which really did just curtail all of the plans for the Niners. In 2019, played all 16 games, 0 missed starts. In 2020, 6 starts, 10 missed games. In 2021, he was pretty healthy, 15 starts, 1 missed game. And then in 2022, 10 starts and 5 missed. If you're looking for a franchise quarterback, these numbers here, not ideal for a guy who does miss a lot of time. Now, I do want to ask you this question next. Do you think the 49ers can make it to Super Bowl 58, which happens to be in Las Vegas? If you think so, make sure you smash that thumbs up icon and you like the video. The 49ers Report today is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 every single day, and it's really changed my life. I gave it a try because given my work schedule at Chat Sports, combined with how much training I do physically, I wanted sustained energy. I wanted to stay healthy. I wanted to boost my immune system so that I can strive toward my professional work life and personal fitness goals. I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine, and it sets the table for the rest of my day. It's helped improve my gut health. It's boosted my energy, supports my immune system, and helps me recover since I'm putting such a toll on my body as I'm closing in on 300 straight days of running. I also really like to prioritize my health and steer clear of harsh ingredients. That's why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. I mix 1 small scoop of AG1. I put it in the bottle that we just showed you. I also can drink it before and after my workouts. And I love that something that's this good for you and improving your health costs less than $3 a day. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, Athletic Greens is giving the Niner Gang a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So head to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. We'll put that link in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. We appreciate Athletic Greens for making today's show possible. Let's start to take some of your questions here on the show. We'll start off with John Wallace here with the $2 donation. Thank you, my guy. You think there's some late-round offensive lineman? I do. Nick Zakelj could start at center this year. He was drafted late by San Francisco in the 2022 NFL draft. Spencer Burford was a mid-round pick. So when you can get players that late, extraordinary value, the 49ers have done a good job of developing offensive linemen. I do think that you can find a quality player late. And shoot, after all, you found in the past some Hall of Famers, all teams in the NFL in the mid to late rounds of the NFL draft. Let's go next to Katie Boy with the $5 super chat. Good work, brother. Keeping it going. Thank you, my guy. Now, I personally think they should trade Brock Purdy and next year's first and the following year's second and fifth for Aaron Rodgers. Now, keep in mind that the 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. So they don't have a first-round pick this year. They didn't have one last year. They don't have one the year after that in 2024. So you'd have to give up another future first-round pick. But do the Green Bay Packers want to give up Aaron Rodgers for Brock Purdy and only get draft capital back? A first, a second, and a fifth? I don't think that's going to be enough. Also, with Aaron Rodgers, the caveat, he's really, really expensive with that cap hit, checking in around $40-50 million. So you would have to do some serious contract restructuring to bring him in. But, of course, Aaron Rodgers is a talking point because he is in that win-now mode that the organization for San Francisco is also in. Ernesto Ojeda, How should the Niners attack the cap since for next season if we re-sign some of our players on the current roster? So right now they have between $8 to $10 million of available cap space. A couple of things can happen. They can restructure the contracts for some of their highest paid players. And if they are able to do that and restructure the deals for their top 5 guys, I believe, they can open up about $50 million in cap space. I expect them to be smart in that regard and try to start to plan ahead while also building this team right now and trying to capitalize on that Super Bowl window. So I think that's how you attack the cap space there. And then, of course, you get savvy financially with some of those deals as well. John Wallace, $5 donation. What's our total amount of picks? We did get some comp picks, right? 11 picks as of right now in the 2023 NFL Draft for San Francisco, including what? 3 in the 3rd round, which I think is very, very valuable. You can find starters there. Harold Murillo, should the 49ers draft another quarterback? I wouldn't hate it. If you don't want to bring in a veteran, then you bring in a cheap rookie to see what he can become, to see how you can groom him like you did with Brock Purdy. He's not going to cost all that much money. So to bring in a quarterback in the draft like a Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA, I wouldn't hate that, honestly. Chris M., can we trade picks to move up? By the way, Jake Haener out of Fresno State, another guy who I really like for San Francisco. I think that he can play for a long time in the NFL. Maybe not as a long-term starter, but as a fill-in backup and as a fringe starter. Chris M., can we trade picks to move up? You can always trade picks to move up. No doubt about that. Mr. Black Ice, we're good at drafting in those late rounds, so let's get it again. Exactly. I mean, you look at some of the players that the 49ers have drafted in the mid to late rounds, George Kittle, Dre Greenlaw, Brock Purdy, Talanoa Hufanga, Elijah Mitchell. A lot of really good players who they found as diamonds in the rough. Logan, I want to see you do a full mock draft for the Niners in April of 2023. You know what, Logan? I'm going to do that just for you. And ahead of time, it's going to be called, as of right now, the Logan 49ers 2023 NFL mock draft. I just named it for you right now. But yes, we'll start doing more draft content in all seriousness. Do appreciate you for tuning in, and hopefully everybody tunes into our draft coverage as well. A big guy who a lot of people are talking about throughout this offseason is Daron Payne. So do you want the Niners to sign Daron Payne? I'm going to continue to talk about it on the channel in hopes that I can bring it to life. S for sign, P for pass. Let us know down below in the comment section. And make sure you give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same handle on both, @Chase_Senior. If you have a question about the Niners, draft, free agency, this entire offseason, whatever, make sure you hit me up down below in the comment section. And as always, thanks for tuning in to our mailbag here on the 49ers Report. All right. What are the people saying? Another beer cheers for that 5 that came in. As now, we are $145 away from buying a Jerry Rice jersey to celebrate 80,000 subscribers once we get there. David Corona, how did you like that Niner song? It was a bop. Here's our Super Chat menu with one segment left. $5, like I just did, we'll give you a Grito cheers. $10, we'll spin the wheel. $20, Valentine's Day card from me and Trizzy. We sent one to John Aiello with the custom graphic. $50, Greedo shotgun or a funnel. And if we get to $200 in total, the bosses are going to get us a Jerry Rice jersey so that once we get to 80,000 subs, we're going to be able to celebrate right here on the show. We're 145 people. Yes, $145 away from $200 in Super Chats. We are 1,500 people away from 80,000 subscribers. Lucis, Daron Payne, very talented, especially at his age. Young guy with huge upside. If we want to bolster the defensive line, he would be an amazing start. Yeah, I talked about him and gushed about him earlier on today for like 5 to 7 minutes. I really like him. 260 people watching live. We're 10 likes away from 100. That ain't good enough. Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video. Everybody's saying Donald Layton, peace. Is he leaving? No, he's saying hello. What up, Donald? How you doing, brother? David Corona, I can't play it because of copyright problems. Can't play a song on here. What's good, Donald? There he is. Mr. Block Ice, good question. I think we should draft the tight end to back up George Kittle. I agree. Ain't Dwelly a free agent now? What do you think? They only have 2 tight ends under contract. So I do agree that the 49ers drafting a tight end, it'd be a wise use of resources. All right, so we need some more questions to do a mailbag. If you want us to do a mailbag, then get your questions in. You simply have to use hashtag 49ers or hit us with the super chat to get those questions answered. Do you have a question about the Niners? Do you want to get featured on the Niners Report for thousands of people to see? Make sure you use the hashtag 49ers. It can even be a hot take or a comment, honestly. Just have to use the hashtag 49ers. Therefore, producer Trizzy is able to go through all of the comments and filter them. Otherwise, we'd be making his job pretty tough if we didn't use hashtag 49ers. David Corona, no worries. Thanks, bro. Chris Madsen, good question. Use hashtag 49ers there, Chris. Chua Lore, hashtag 49ers, good stuff. Logan, good stuff. Lucius, hashtag 49ers, awesome. Whoever asked about Julio Jones, get that question in there as well. We'll take some juice on the mailbag. Mahomes and Trumbull, he wasn't on Sunday, Donald. There was like some Eagles fan who went on social media and they were like, I want Mahomes drug tested. And then people were DMing me, did Mahomes get bopped for PEDs? No, he didn't. Matthew Vega, good question. Adam J. I like it. Ricky Pacheco. We need a high-scoring offense, so a fast, productive wide receiver. You had that in Brandon Ayuk. Can get another one. Corona guy. What do you guys think about all the talk about the script drama and how the NFL is all scripted? It ain't true because the script, the leaked script had the Eagles winning by 3, and they lost by 3. Now, Kyle Shanahan's usually his first drive or 2 is scripted, but that's a play-calling script. Yeah, Lucius, I agree. Mahomes is just a different breed of quarterback. He's just that guy. He's very, very good. He's very, very good. All right, had a lot of people who are using that hashtag 49ers, so we're going to be able to get those questions answered. Mr. Block Ice will answer that super chat as well during this mailbag. Let's hop into it right now. Today's 49ers Report is presented by Vincero Collective. It's time for the offseason. And if you want to pick up a timepiece like I did with Vincero, we have a great deal for you. 20% off and free shipping if you head to VinceroCollective.com/chat using the promo code chat. You want to get hooked up, look like a baller without having to spend like one? Vincero is where it's at. Mr. Block Ice with a $2 super chat to kick things off. Do you think with our cornerbacks, we should also draft one too? I'm kind of a proponent of drafting cornerbacks every single year to see which corners that you can hit on. You know, cornerbacks oftentimes can work out in the later rounds because it's hard to gauge and it's hard to evaluate how good or bad cornerbacks are in college football. It has to do with scheme. It has to do with coaching. It has to do with usage. Also the opponent. Look no further than a guy like Deommodore Lenoir. What, 5th-round pick coming out of Oregon? And he worked his way into a spot where he was the starting cornerback for this team. Once Emmanuel Mosley went out, and I thought that he was really good toward the tail end of the season. Now, the Niners did draft Tariq Castro-Fields out of Penn State late in the 6th round last year. He didn't make the 53-man roster. He got scooped up by Washington. So, again, I think that's a part of the organizational philosophy for San Francisco to bring in corners through the draft, late, middle rounds, even early, to see which guys can pan out. I'd like to see the Niners bring back Emmanuel Mosley, though. Chualor, should the 49ers draft Cameron Latou? He's a tight end out of Alabama, really good player, and a lot of people have been asking particularly about the tight end position for the Niners. I think at some point you're going to have to look ahead into the future and understand that George Kittle is starting to get a little bit older, and you're going to have to find his replacement at some point. Now, Cameron Latou with Alabama, 30 catches this year, 377 yards, 4 touchdowns, average yards per pop, 12.5, 6'5", 244 out of Salt Lake City, Utah. He is a menace to bring down. He is a physical load, but there are only 2 tight ends who are currently signed for 2023. So that tells me either San Francisco is going to be looking for one in free agency. I think it's more wise to find one in the draft who at some point can take over for George Kittle. Lucius, triple third-round picks in a row is huge. I agree, and that's what I've said. The best players come from the later rounds. We are in a great position to improve for 2023. I'm not sure what exactly the data is, but almost and a large percentage of the players in the NFL are actually not first-round picks. A lot of them are undrafted who occupy 53-man rosters, and they're also drafted in the mid to late rounds. So while the Niners don't have a pick in the first round, nor they have a pick in the second round, they have back-to-back-to-back consecutive picks in the third round. And you can find plug-and-play starters at that point. So I agree with you here. Huge to have those picks at a premium spot in this draft. Logan, do you think the Niners can get Jesse Bates or C.J. Gardner-Johnson in free agency? Great question. Because if Jimmy Ward leaves, you're going to need to bring in a safety. If Deshaun Gibson retires, you're going to need to look at addressing safety. Talanoa Hufanga played great ball this year. He was an Associated Press All-Pro. Impressed a lot of people. Has to get better in pass coverage. He's great around the box as a blitzer and a guy who can play behind the line of scrimmage like Troy Polamalu, but he bit on a couple of fakes in that secondary. So that's something that he has to get better at. But Deshaun Gibson might retire. Jimmy Ward might leave in free agency. And if that's the case, you have a big hole to fill at safety. Now, Jesse Bates is going to be expensive. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to be expensive as well. If I could pick one, I think that Gardner-Johnson might demand a little bit less money. I'm talking by the smallest of margins. And I love his versatility because he can play deep, he can play slot, and he's an absolute dog with a lot of swagger. We're going to continue to answer your questions on the other side. First, though, 49ers Report is presented by Vincero Collective. 20% off, free shipping site-wide if you head to VinceroCollective.com/chat. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they are essentially a design house for modern men and women, crafting really sleek watches, sunglasses, and more. I'm rocking one of their watches on today's show. I have several watches from them, and this one that I'm wearing, definitely my favorite. I get tons of compliments on it, and it's clear from the first impression how well made they are because they use really good materials. And based on the West Coast, GQ actually recently called Vincero their go-to brand for modern accessories, and it's easy to see why. For all the boss men and women out there, their watches are a must. They can elevate your look with the twist of a wrist. I love how they use great materials, and you need to check them out if you haven't yet. Right now, if you're looking for a perfect gift for yourself or someone else who you love, Valentine's Day just passed this week. 20% off, free shipping, site-wide by using the exclusive code CHAT. Support our show and check them out. It's VINCERO Collective.com/chat with the promo code CHAT for that deal to apply. The Passmaster with the $2 super chat. Chase, just wanted to say thank you. Real one. Passmaster, I wanted to say thank you for being a real one and supporting all the content that I do. Cheers to you, my brother. Now, all the questions that are coming in, they're coming in from our loyal subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now. 49ers free agency, draft, rumors, news, analysis coverage all throughout the offseason. And when the season comes around, we'll still give you videos all the time and every day. Closing in on 80,000 subscribers. Appreciate all the support. Steve Cass, can the Niners pick up players for the trenches in the third round? I'm not sure if it's in the third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. They need to address offensive line. They need to address defensive line. They need a right tackle if McGlinchey leaves. They might want to look at an upgrade at right guard, even though I think Spencer Burford can be pretty solid and make that Aaron Banks type of leap from year one to year two. We'll see what happens with Jake Brendel. I think there are other better centers out there who would do a better job. But either way, got to improve the defensive line, have to improve the offensive line, especially after seeing how well Kansas City and Philadelphia played up front. Logan with another one. Do you feel that Danny Gray will elevate his game and become a wide receiver we can count on next year? Niners need it because a vertical element to this pass game would really help, and it would take some pressure off of Deebo Samuel. It would take some pressure off of Brandon Ayuk. Shoot, it would open up things further underneath for a guy like George Kittle and then Jawan Jennings, the third down magician. You get a vertical guy like that, basically the safety always have to worry about that guy, as well as the corner. So that deep safety could be taken to his side of Danny Gray because they're a little bit concerned that he could burn them. Niner 63. If you're the general manager for a day, which starter do you re-sign? Azeez Al-Shire, Emmanuel Mosley, Jimmy Ward. Wow, good question. I'm letting Azeez Al-Shire walk because I think that he's going to get paid too much for me to keep. And he could go to a team like the Houston Texans and cash in, which he deserves. Emmanuel Mosley was playing like a top-tier cornerback before that torn ACL. And then Jimmy Ward, captain of this defense, former first-round pick. Good job by him after being asked to go from safety to cornerback and playing really well there. I might go Emmanuel Mosley, even if he's coming off that torn ACL, but Jimmy Ward is right there, and on some days I might change my mind. Let me say Emmanuel Mosley or Jimmy Ward. With this offseason about to get ratcheted up, what are you looking forward to the most? Is it the NFL draft and our coverage covering these prospects? Is it free agency and all of the rumors that ensue as well as the signings? Let us know. D for draft, F for free agency. Thanks for tuning into our mailbag today. All right, what's everybody else saying? What's everybody saying? Mr. Black Ice, all the above? Let's get it. Lucius, I'm very intrigued by the signing of former Indiana player Marcelino McCrary-Ball. He bought out in the preseason, showed great potential, great replacement for Azeez Al-Shire. Thoughts? Yeah, I talked about all that yesterday. As soon as they signed him to that one-year deal, I had said, if you read the tea leaves here, right? Marcelino McCrary-Ball could be the replacement for an Azeez Al-Shire. He's cheap. He's under team control. And it's not like there's a ton of pressure on him having to play alongside Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. And I just simply think that Azeez Al-Shire is going to make a little bit more money. If the name sounds familiar, Marcelino McCrary-Ball, he intercepted Jordan Love in the red zone of the preseason last year. And I actually thought that he had an opportunity, realistically, to crack that 53-man roster. All right, here's another one. Oh, same guy. Lucius. Luscious. I always mess that one up. Super chat menu. Here it is. We're up to $58. All right. If we get to $200 in total, the bosses will get me a Jerry Rice jersey for us to celebrate 80,000 subscribers with. So that's the goal that we're shooting for. We're about $142 away from that number. $5 will give you Greedo cheers. $10 will spin the wheel again. $20 custom graphic with a digital Valentine's Day card. And for a $50 super chat, Greedo shotgun or a Freedom Funnel. That right there is our super chat menu. So what do you got? What do you think? Let's see what the people are saying. David Corona can't wait for free agency. I'm with you. Look, the NFL season just ended, and I'm looking forward to next year already. Kenny Juarez, F. Lucius, also excited for Trey Lance's development. So am I. He's going to have an opportunity to really develop here this offseason. Joseph Talmage, what's up, Chase and Trizzy? What's up, Joseph? All right, let me put up the 2-minute shot clock. If you want us to stay live, we will. If not, we'll sign off. 2-minute shot clock is on. If you want us to stay live, send in a super chat. Can we get the 200 to get that Jerry Rice jersey to celebrate 80,000 subscribers? $5 Greedo cheers. $10 you spin the wheel. $20 we'll send you a Valentine's Day card. $50 Greedo shotgun or a Freedom Funnel. 231 people watching live. Appreciate all of you for being real ones. We're 30 seconds into our 2-minute shot clock. Donald Layton, what's the deal on Brock Purdy and his elbow? Is it worst case scenario? It's actually kind of best case scenario. They're going to put an internal brace in there, and the expectation now is that he could be back for training camp. But he did mention the possibility. Oh! John Aiello! We're getting their Jerry Rice jersey. Let's go, John! John. Frank Bailey, do I need to send you my J? Are you going to send it through the YouTube stream? Wow, John. We're getting the Jerry Rice jersey. Let's go. John Aiello is goated. Everybody type John in the comment section.
Let's go, John.
And he beats the 2-minute shot clock.
So we stay live.
We staying live. That woke me up. John. Trace is doing a fireball swig. I'm chugging the lager. John is the boss. Jerry Rice jersey coming up. Is anybody matching John?
Bet you won't. Bet you won't. I bet you won't match John.
Wow. Johnny boy. John. Lucius. John has us beat in finances. Yes, he does. He's a big baller. Dollar Bill called him Big John.
Big eggplant John. Let's go, baby.
Beer chug for John. Now, what should we do for 80,000 subs? Put that weigh-in up.
Got you.
Donald Layton. I didn't finish the question because I got distracted because $142 in Super Chats came in. So, from being on Super Bowl Radio Row, talking with doctors and stuff, and then also seeing what the 49ers have said, and Brock Purdy, the hope is that it's going to be the 6-month recovery where he gets that surgery, internal brace on his elbow. He can start to throw in like 3-4 months, and then he'll be good to go to start letting it rip in about 6 months. Brock Purdy also said there's a possibility it's a hybrid surgery where it's not necessarily a complete reconstruction, but it's a partial reconstruction with the internal brace, which would then further the timeline a little bit more than that 6 months. So really what the deal is, you have to go in there to figure out what's happening. Frank the Tank!
Let's go!
That's an L3 for Frank.
An L3 for Frank.
Happy Valentine's Day, Frank. We're going to send you our digital Valentine's Day card. Steve Cass mentioning Kalia Davis. I like this. What? That's hilarious. That's your whole show. Yeah. Steve Cass saying Kalia Davis was injured as a rookie. He will be available in 2023. If he plays like he did in college, he'll be a steal for a 6th-round pick. Guy can stop the run and pressure the quarterback. So DJ Jones, for instance, was a 7th-round pick, and he played so well and developed so well that he got $10 million per year from the Denver Broncos last offseason. That was a player who was just way too expensive for the Niners to keep. And Kalia Davis at UCF was good. Now, he's coming off that torn ACL. And if he can step in for cheap and be utilized in this scheme, that's pretty damn good. All right, Frank, here's your virtual Valentine's Day card. Take a screenshot of this. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Frank Bailey. Take a screenshot, blow it up, put it on a poster. You could put it in your man cave. Here you go. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank Bailey, we appreciate you. There you go, my guy. Happy Valentine's Day. That's our Valentine's Day card for you. All right, we'll look back at the Super Chat menu. $5, Greedo cheers. I owe Frank Aiello another beer chug, so hold on. Chua said, how about the whole Chat Sports team chugging with you and Trace? It's kind of been a busy day today. If we get a $100 Super Chat, I'll try to bring in as many people in as possible. How about that? I'll send a message out to everybody, and I'll say, stop your shows, come in here, we're going to go nuts. Yeah. Lucius. Steve Wilkes is also going to be very fun to watch. His main talent, coaching DBs. You're right. You're on it. Good football mind, man. You know your stuff. He has a defensive backfield background, and that's a questionable position he continued these last few years, minus this year, of course. I really like this guy. So do I. I talked to Jake Glazer. He said it could be the hire of the offseason for all teams hiring coaches. Talked to Matt Mayoko about it. He said a phenomenal hire that people are raving about. So looks as though this Niners defense is going to be in good hands. Frank Bailey, thanks, guys. Get that Rice. We're going to get it. Jerry Rice jersey for 80,000 subscribers. Now it's up to you to help us get to 80,000 by subscribing to the show or telling your friends and family members to also subscribe. This is awesome, man. So that's our Super Chat menu here. We'll put the Super Chat shot clock back up. 2 minutes on the Super Chat shot clock.
2 minutes remaining.
Brock Purdy's hanging out as well.
If there's a wheel spin to get Big Cock Brock out here, so $10 and we'll spin the wheel. Just saying.
$10 will spin the wheel. Ha ha ha. Lucius. Make Chase fully suit up in pads with that jersey. That would be kind of funny.
All right, Chase, I got a hypothetical. If there was one NFL player that you had to do the Oklahoma drill with, who would it be? What player? Like, either way, you're getting hit. It doesn't matter. Obviously, it's not going to be a Nick Bosa or something because he's just going to send you to the hospital. Send anybody to the hospital.
That's a good question. Russell Wilson? I'd love to tackle Russell Wilson.
Dude, that's great.
Kenny Juarez.
Like Mike White or something. Or David
Russell
Blau.
Wilson. Give me Russ. Let me tackle that corn muffin.
That's great. Let me tackle that corn
He's
muffin.
just too corny for me, man. Just too corny.
That's so good.
It's too corny. Arona, Oklahoma drill versus Robbie Gold. See, I want a little bit of a challenge. You know what I mean?
But I don't want to feel bad when I lay down the lumber. You know,
Yeah.
I want the quarterback that I end up laying it into. I want him to feel it. I'd feel bad if it was a kicker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I want it to be, an actual player. All right, 1:40 into our 2-minute shot clock. 1:40 into our 2-minute shot clock. Lucius, I'd personally love to tackle Myles Garrett, not because I will win, but because I need to be reminded I'm not the strongest. That dude is a physical freak, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Myles Garrett is not a real human being. He's one of those aliens that's been hanging around Alaska and shit.
Yeah. All right, 10 seconds left on our Super Chat shot clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll give you about a 20-second delay here for those of you watching on delay, because somebody was just commenting about the draft and free agency question. That was a long time ago. Where's Reuben Foster been? He had a couple of tryouts in the preseason, but he cost himself, man. He cost himself. All right. 20-second shot clock is about to expire. Another fun show. John Aiello, you want to give him a Super Chat MVP L3? John Aiello is our Super Chat MVP today. $142 Super Chat so that we can get that Jerry Rice number 80 jersey for when we get to 80,000 subscribers. Appreciate it, John. We'll give you a custom graphic down here. Super Chat MVP, John. Frank Bailey, also one of our MVPs. We appreciate you, Frank. John Wallace as well, and everybody else who tuned in. Even if you didn't send in a Super Chat, it's all good. We appreciate the support. The show is free at the end of the day. All right, we are out of here. Appreciate everybody who watched today's program. Keep it locked here for daily videos on the Niners throughout the offseason. And when 80,000 subscribers happens, we're rocking the Jerry Rice jersey live here on the show. Thanks to John Aiello. We out. Peace.